Let's just jump right into a really big question. What would actually happen if the speed of light were much, much slower? We go through our lives just assuming some things are, well, constant. But what if we changed this one fundamental rule? It would alter absolutely everything we know.
It's such a fascinating thought experiment because, see, the speed of light isn't just, well, a speed. It's this universal constant that's literally woven into the fabric of space and time and matter. So let's explore what happens when you start pulling on that single thread.
You have to understand, changing this one number doesn't just make things slower. Oh no, it's much bigger than that. It's like rewriting the entire operating system of reality itself. It would change everything from how we move and see, all the way down to the very structure of the atoms that make us, well, us.
Okay, so let's try to imagine this. What if the cosmic speed limit dropped to something we could actually wrap our heads around? Say, the speed of a car on the highway. How would our daily reality get all warped and weird? Well, the most obvious changes would be the ones you'd see and feel just by walking down the street. First off, our whole relationship with speed would be completely turned on its head. I mean, right now, even our fastest fighter jets are just crawling compared to the speed of light. But in this new, sluggish universe, a regular old airplane could suddenly be traveling at a huge fraction of that ultimate speed limit. And this is where one of the weirdest parts of Einstein's relativity just becomes normal. If you took a flight from New York to London, you would literally age less than your friends who stayed behind. Time itself would stop being this universal clock everyone shares and would become something personal and relative. Wild, right? And what you see? Oh, your vision would get incredibly strange. Because light would take so much longer to reach your eyes, you'd constantly be seeing a delayed version of everything. A car speeding past you might look all squashed or bent out of shape. Even the sky itself could start to dim. As visible light gets stretched into wavelengths our eyes just can't see anymore. Now, as bizarre as all that sounds, believe it or not, the most profound changes wouldn't even be the ones we could see. Nope, they'd be happening at the microscopic level. This is where the very building blocks of matter would start to fail and where reality truly begins to unravel. It all creates this incredibly dangerous domino effect. See, a slower speed of light, what physicists call c, would fundamentally strengthen the electromagnetic forces. That's the glue that holds atoms together. So what happens? The atoms themselves would actually shrink, and that would completely change how they interact with each other. The result is, well, it's catastrophic. Chemistry as we know it would basically fail. All those complex reactions that allow for breathing, digestion, even for our brains to think, they might just become impossible. In a universe like this, it's hard to imagine complex life could even exist. Okay, so things are looking pretty bad for life. But what about the rest of the universe? Let's zoom way out from the atomic scale to the cosmic scale, because a slower speed of light would also mean a much, much darker and colder cosmos. We've all seen that famous equation, right? E equals mc squared. Well, if c, the speed of light, is a much smaller number, then the amount of energy, E, you can get from matter, m, drops, and it drops dramatically. This has huge, huge consequences for the engines of the universe, the stars. Think about it. The nuclear fusion that powers our sun, it would become way weaker. A lot of stars might not even have enough energy to ignite in the first place, leaving their planets as just these frozen, dark worlds. And on top of that, with light having a harder time escaping gravity, black holes would become even more powerful and massive. All right, let's bring this all back home for a second. Forget the cosmic scale for a minute and just think about our modern world, which is built entirely on the idea of near instantaneous communication. Today, a signal can zip around the entire globe in just a fraction of a second. But in a slow light universe, that same signal could take hours. A video call would be completely impossible. Sending an email would be like mailing a physical letter. Our entire connected world would just grind to a halt. The microprocessors in our phones and computers, they rely on signals moving at light speed, so they'd have to run thousands of times slower. The internet, GPS, global finance, all of it would just collapse. Our entire technological civilization is built on the simple fact that the speed of light is incredibly, incredibly fast.
And here's a final, really unsettling thought. What if the universal speed limit dropped low enough, so low that it was close to the speed of our own nerve impulses? Our brains themselves might struggle to synchronize. Different parts of your own mind could actually fall out of step with each other, shattering your very perception of a unified reality.
So yeah, it's pretty clear the speed of light isn't just some random number a physicist wrote on a chalkboard. It is a fundamental, finely tuned parameter that allows for everything from stable atoms to a connected civilization.
Ultimately, the universe as we know it, this stable, vibrant place that's capable of producing life, it is profoundly dependent on this one constant being exactly what it is.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, the speed of light is just one of several fundamental constants that define our reality. What other invisible pillars are holding up our universe? Pillars that we rely on every single second without even knowing they're there.